So we're back in Tel Aviv, and I'm with Sarit from B'Tselem, an organisation. You can explain a little bit about what you do, please, because that's what's really useful for people back in the UK. So first of all, we went to East Jerusalem and met Zahir. Tell us a bit about what his campaign is and what's going on.
So my organisation, B'Tselem, is an Israeli organisation that does research, documentation and advocacy on all aspects of the Israeli occupation with an eye to ending it. So we believe the only future that will include rights, equality and justice for both Israelis and Palestinians is one that will include an end of the current permanent occupation. In East Jerusalem, we focus, and we will focus today, on the work by Israeli settler organizations hand in glove with the government to remove individual Palestinian families from homes in Palestinian neighborhoods of East Jerusalem. This is done with the total support of the Israeli courts and of the Israeli political echelons, and threatens in a specific neighborhood we visited to evict over 80 families slowly and incrementally from their homes, and these are Palestinian families that will then be replaced by Israeli settlers.
Zuhair obviously is doing so much work just as a citizen, and what support does he get?
So the work of the Palestinian human rights defenders that we met today is extremely hard because they're having to deal with a lot of challenges. They're dealing with a serious threat to their own existence in their own homes, but also a lot of repression and a lot of harassment of people who resist. The two people we met, Zuhair from Silwan, but also Ida Bukhamis from Khan el-Ahmar, which we can talk about in a second, work completely non-violently through harnessing the international community, diplomats, and also through the courts, even though they know the courts are rigged against them.
That's what's so depressing, is that they're going through this whole legal process, but basically they don't stand very much chance alone.
Absolutely not. And I think it's very important to always be aware of the fact that we're not talking about a legal situation. No. It's not something that the courts will save us from. The only solution for this is a political solution that will involve the Israeli government ending the occupation and ending these policies that are aiming to displace Palestinians from their homes both in East Jerusalem and also in the broader periphery of East Jerusalem.
And one thing that struck me, and it was kind of, I wish I'd recorded it, was when the security guards that protect the Israeli settlers, I mean, he said hello to them, but basically those Israeli families that move in, the settlers, they then need escorting to and from their homes, because of all the tension, and yet he's sort of like open-hearted enough to speak to these people. He recognises that they're just doing a job.
Yes, and it's a very interesting dynamic. I mean, the settlers are effectively engaged in a hostile takeover of the neighborhood. And we have to also acknowledge that the Palestinians are resisting this. Some people, like Zuhair, resist totally non-violently through the courts and through this kind of advocacy work. Some children in the neighborhood throw stones, get into conflicts with the settlers, and the settlers in the neighborhoods move only with the police and security guards escort. This is a reality that has led to immense pressure on the Palestinian population, because regardless of who initiates violence, the ones who pay the price are always the Palestinians, and this is the dynamic we see in other places as well. And I think the understanding of a lot of Palestinians, Zuhair is not the only person I've kind of heard this conversation from, that a lot of Israelis participate in this process of their exclusion, of their transfer for economic reasons, because getting a job as a security guard or as a border police officer is the only option available to them. That is a reality that a lot of Palestinians are also aware of. That's not to say that this is acceptable, that people aren't responsible for their own choices and actions, but certainly I think it's important to remember that under the Israeli imposed occupation regime, the ones who are losing out, who are losing their land and their rights are Palestinians, but a lot of Israelis are also stratified in different ways within this big project.